Good day, Philippines! Maayong adlaw, Negros Oriental, and welcome to another episode of FlexiEd, or Flexible Learning Experience in Education, brought to you by the Department of Education Division of Negros Oriental. This is Leia, and I'll be your host for today's show. Yesterday, we got to meet Sir Jude Asidre, the Chief Political Strategist of Tingog Party List, as he discussed matters of faith and fate. Today, we will discuss another topic related to matters of faith as we discuss light through the cracks, moving in the new normal in education and in life. To discuss this in depth is somebody I'm sure you know and we all love. The Superintendent of the Diocesan Schools of the Diocese of Dumaguete. Friends, dear teachers, let's all welcome Father Thadeu, Enrique, and Balongag. Hello, Father.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Father, how have you been? It's been a long time since I saw you po.
Yeah, I've been very busy because I had to work on the preparation of the schools for the opening of the school year in the new normal, working on what is required by the Department of Education, which is the Learning Continuity Program Plan, and PEAC as well, PEAC's SRRP, School Recovery Readiness Plan.
Fads, how have you been throughout the pandemic?
I've been trying to make myself busy at home. I've learned how to cook.
I'm sure a lot of people have done that also, Father.
Yeah, I've cleaned up our old house and I've planted vegetables at the back of our house. So basically very productive summer and very productive period.
Father, I don't want to preempt your topic, but I like the idea, parang nindot nga picture ang pagsulti og light through the cracks. What inspired you to use that as the metaphor of what we're going through po?
Because I'll explain in a bit why it's called life through the cracks. But what actually inspired me is the Filipinos' resilience and our attitude of staying positive all the time. Although sometimes it's not good to be laughing while the whole world is sad and in a big mess, in a big problem. But I always would like to attribute it to the Philippines' resilience and I think our anchor on the faith that we have. We've been positive all along and we've always tried to look for the positive in things no matter what.
Thank you so much, Fad. So we are looking forward to know more about light through the cracks as we move in the new normal in education and in life. Take it away, Fad.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Department of Education, the Division of Negros Oriental for giving me the chance to share with you once more my thoughts about, attitude about life in the new normal. And I'd like to invite all of you to really reflect on the simple sharing that I have based on my own experiences and based on people's thoughts as well and their reflection of life in the new normal. So what I'd like to share with you is life through the cracks, moving in the new normal in life and in education. Let me begin by sharing with you a quick introduction. The global pandemic caused by coronavirus that has literally stopped practically all movements in society's life and operations, has changed the pace of life and the paradigms of institutions and industries. I say change in paradigms because truly the models that we used to see are no longer applicable today, all because of the virus. Example, the face masks that used to be worn only by seriously ill individuals are now worn by everyone, every day, everywhere. In fact, before, every time I would take the plane and I'd see somebody wearing the face mask, I would somehow feel for the person because I would think that the person is going through something, especially those undergoing chemotherapy. But today, it is being worn by everyone, every day, and everywhere, regardless of one's condition. The PPE suits, another example, that were unthinkable a year ago, are common sights even in a tropical country like the Philippines. All these developments are observed all over the world because while the virus is dreadful, having claimed thousands of lives, life cannot stop. Remember that. Life cannot stop. In fact, those among us in the education sector that are complaining and complaining to the depth why classes have to be pushed through, we should think we should understand that life cannot stop, all because there is a virus. As the Japanese would say, we need to know how to live with it, whether there is vaccine or no vaccine at all. In other words, we have to be in control of ourselves. It is on us to know how we can transcend the reality of the virus in our midst. Life today, therefore, my dear friends, is all about attitude. It is all about positive attitude, learning to move forward despite the odds caused by the virus. Remember that. Life today is all about positive attitude and being trusting in the Lord in everything we do. Now, the title of my talk this afternoon, as was explained by our gracious and beautiful host, Miss Leah, is Light Through the Cracks, Moving in the New Normal in Life and in Education. Now, the questions are, what does this mean? What do I want to share? What do I want to emphasize? Well, it is all about working on our attitude and how we all should look at things in the context of the new normal. Because, to be honest with you, based on my conversations with people, based on my impression and perception and what I've heard from people, a lot of people seem to be quite afraid to live life. In fact, a lot of them don't really want to go out and don't want to do things the way they should be done and run. But if we live life that way, we will not be able to push life, and we will not be able to achieve what we should be achieving, despite the fact that we are discombobulated by the virus. So we just have to have the positive attitude, at the same time trust in the Lord. Now let me begin by sharing with you my thoughts about life through the cracks. While we were all shut out, isolated, and left groping in the dark behind walls to find our way out, we kept pounding on the walls. We kept pushing barriers to clear our way. As a result of the pounding and the clearing, we left cracks on the walls. And slowly, through the cracks, light started coming in. Light penetrated through the cracks on the walls. Friends, our situation today makes us all look like we are blinded by the darkness caused by the pandemic. We do not seem to know what to do and how to move. Since March, in fact, we have been thinking how life can move despite the circumstances. But slowly, by our movements, we have seen light through cracks. We have discovered ways of doing things. These ways may not be perfect, as is everything in the world is, but these things provide glimmer of hope in a world surrounded by uncertainty. Let me share with you some examples. Like personally, when the lockdown started, I shared this a while ago, but I like to emphasize on this. When the lockdown started, one of my worries was how to survive. Why? Because first, before the lockdown, I did not know how to cook. Even the simple kanon, kanin, I didn't know how to cook. In fact, the first time I did that, I used my rice cooker. After 30 minutes, when I checked what I was cooking, I realized the rice that I placed inside was not cooked. So I had to double check, only to realize I did not push down that thing that would cook the rice. So I laughed at myself, delayed lunch for a bit, and then continued to observe until rice in the rice cooker was cooked. But that's the way to learn. Those are what I call the pounding and the kicking of barriers until I found my way out. And then slowly through the cracks on the walls, I saw light coming in. That's one example. And then, of course, food. So I had to call my brother, who's based in the States, and I had to ask him how to cook things. And all he said, brother, all you need to do, a typical Filipino food is cooked more or less in the same way. You just need to learn how to gisa. Diba, Leia, gisa is saute, right? That's how you do. You just have to learn how to do it, and then you'd be able to have food. So, although I learned things quite the hard way, but eventually I saw light coming in through the cracks. I just had to keep pounding. I just had to clear the way. And then eventually I found my way, and I was able to survive. In fact, I love cooking now. I love preparing breakfast. I love preparing lunch. But lately, Leia, I had to control myself because I was gaining weight. Because iba pala, like, if you're doing cooking and then you eat a lot, and in fact, even the way you measure yung sa rice, you have to control yourself, otherwise you keep eating. So, that's one example. We have realized also, another example is we have realized that we can actually cut down on non-essentials. For a long time in our lives, I guess, we have always been more focused on the trimmings of life. So that when the lockdown was imposed, we thought we would not survive without them. But one of the things that I've realized is the fact that we can cut down on non-essentials and live life wonderfully. Second, we can live without the usual trimmings and life can still be good. And that should be our attitude. We can live without the usual trimmings and life can still be good. Before the lockdown, I've always had my hair cut. And I would always have my hair dyed. But because we were locked down for almost 3 months, I never had my hair cut. But finally, when I had my hair cut, I realized, puti na pala lahat ng buhok ko. But I also realized na I actually look good with my gray hair. So I was telling myself, now I'll stop dyeing my hair. This is perfect. This is good. Now, if only we think deep and well, friends, we can actually be creative in the way we roll out life. Remember that. If only we think deep and well, we can actually be creative in the way we live life. We can be patient again in a world where things can be acquired instantly. That's another learning. We've been used to the kind of life now. Everything is fast. Everything moves fast. You complain like if the downloading takes a while. We complain a lot if we don't easily get what we want because that's the mindset that we're used to. We've gotten used to. But with everything moving so slowly now, we are being taught to be patient again in a world that used to be acquiring a lot of things instantly. So those are the examples. In other words, in a world and in a life where negativity is becoming common, trails and pathways that lead us to the main road are, after all, always available. We just have to think deep and well and work hard to search for the trails and the pathways. Nothing that is good comes easy. Remember, nothing that is good comes easy. We are individuals with skills and talents given by God. There is no reason we do not succeed. Just try. If attempts fail, try again. And like Albert Einstein, soon we will find the right formula. Albert Einstein's E is equal to mc squared actually took a while for him to discover. But because he committed a lot of mistakes, he was able to perfect and finally found the formula. So remember that. Give life the attempts that you can give. If you fail, try again until you find the perfect formula, because nothing that is good comes easy. Moving in the new normal in life requires a lot of things. As we live in the new normal, let us bring with us the positive attitude that we badly need today. After all, negativity will not take us anywhere. God has blessed us abundantly for us to think, feel, work, survive, share, and bless one another with what we have. Complaining, rumbling, ranting during this time will not provide food on our table, money in our pockets, and healthy bodies. They stress us further and can be the cause of the lowering of our immune system. Sige ka, magkaka-COVID ka. A positive internal disposition provides a strong foundation for a healthy outlook and perspective and a healthy life. I repeat, a positive internal disposition provides us with a strong foundation for a healthy outlook and perspective and a healthy life. Moving in the new normal in education basically requires that. So we continue to carry out our tasks as teachers, as employees, as administrators, and as parents with the hope and prayer that the health crisis will soon be over. Meanwhile, we continue our daily routine and contribute positively to society, to our community, to our workplace, and to our families. Spend if you have something to spend, because it keeps the economy moving. Share if you have something to share, because it keeps people's lives moving. Do if you have to do something, it keeps everything moving. By doing our work well in our stations, we create positive rippling effects. And these rippling effects will make a difference in our lives, in the lives of people, of communities, and of the nation. When we see the day when life becomes good again, we will look back to these moments with gratitude for polishing us and for making us strong individuals. In less than 2 weeks, classes shall officially start. Let us pray for one another, whether public or private school, sectarian or non-sectarian, Catholic or not, and ask for the blessing from the Lord. By our goodness, may the world be safe and wonderful again for you, for me, for children, and for everyone. God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Father. As usual, you've always been inspiring, and we look up to you because of that skill to inspire people. Father, there are 3 points that you raised that I'd like to repeat because for me, this speaks volumes. The first one you did say was we have to learn to move forward. And I like the fact that you said we can't just give up. We have to learn to live with the new normal. So the only way to do that is to have a positive attitude. You also said it taught us how to cut down in non-essentials. I can really relate to what you said, Father, na you just kept your hair that way. Ako'y niputol sa buhok sa akong bana. So, grabe yung kaayo ang gitudlo sa pandemic na we can actually do stuff on our own should we choose to do it. And the third one that I'd like to mention, Fadi, said na this pandemic taught us to be patient. In a culture of instant, everything's instant, it allowed us to go back to basic, to know and identify what really matters, and to be patient and kind once again. Since we were living in a world that was so fast-paced, it allowed us to slow down. Thank you so much for that, Father. Any final message for our teachers and anyone basically who are tuning in karon sa Flexi Ed Fads?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you for working so hard to ensure that the school year is truly rolled out. Education can never stop. Even if people are saying postpone, education cannot stop, because if we stop everything all because there is the virus, what kind of future can we embrace? Life is not going to wait for us. So I would like to congratulate you for working so hard, and thank you for working so hard for the young, and of course for our nation, for our country. My only message is hold on. We are surviving. We will survive. Hold on. This is not like everything else in this world. This is not permanent. This is temporary. I just came from a burial, and I saw how life moves. You may be 60, maybe 80, maybe 90, maybe 40 or 20. Doesn't matter. We have to move on because that's what life is, and that's the reason why the Lord has given us a lot, that we may be able to survive and live in this world, and live in this world meaningfully and with dignity. So, teachers, thank you, and let's pray for one another so that whether you're from the public school or the private school, let's pray for each other. We all are serving the same Filipino youth. The youth you educate will eventually come to us. The youth we educate will eventually go to you. It doesn't matter. We all should be one in this. Kaya bayanihan, kaya komunyo, kaya togetherness. Because again, we all should collaborate and work as a people, as a nation, as a humanity.
Thank you so much, Father. That was Father Balongag, who just talked about light through the cracks and how to move on in the new normal. So, dear teachers, before I go, as what Father said, let's keep on pounding until we find the right formula. Because at the end of the day, nothing that is good comes easy. So let's keep on going. Let's keep on trying. This has been Leah saying a wonderful day ahead. God bless us all. Thank you.